Modern Esper Control deck tech. Okay. Post Streets of whatever the fuck it's called. 4 Fatal Push. Kills Ragavan. Kills most everything else in the format. 3 March of Otherworldly Light. Takes out Urza Saga and most everything else in the format. 4 Counterspell. No explanation needed. 4 new card. Tainted Indulgence. I think it's actually really good. 2 mana, instant speed, draw a card. It's fairly easy to turn on. 1 copy, single copy of Drown in the Loch, because why not? This deck kills more things than an exile, so that's probably... I think the first copy in a blue and black X control deck, the first copy of Drown in the Loch is free inclusion. It's always going to work. It's when you start playing multiples that I get leery of it, but 1 copy is totally fine. 4 Archmage's Charm. Yep. 4 copies of Voidrend. I do believe that Voidrend is that good. I believe it totally replaces Prismatic Ending in Esper. Because a lot of the time you're casting Prismatic Ending on your turn for like 2 or 3 mana. This is just instant speed. This deck is a pile of instant speed stuff. There's only 5 cards in the deck that aren't instant. That's your Damn, Supreme Verdict, a 1-1 split, and your Teferis. But Teferi lets you do stuff with your mana. So anyway, 4 Voidrend, I think it's really, really good. 2 Memory Deluge, I think it's really, really good. 1 Damn, 1 Supreme Verdict, rather. There's another Supreme Verdict in the sideboard. 3 Teferi, Hero of Dominaria is the only Planeswalker, because, you know, control. And then 4 Snapcaster Mage, because I love my snappies. I think Tainted Indulgence is better than Opt. Yeah, it's 2 mana, but the card advantage is nuts, and late game it's just a straight up draw 2. The filtering is better. Opt is kind of meh, so I think it's fine. And in testing with blue-white, Snapcaster Mage still works really good with just removal spells and counterspell. So, having my cantrip be 2 mana instead of 1 mana I think is fine. When the potential to just have a straight up 2 mana instant speed draw 2 mid and late game is just so high. Mana, 4 Flooded Strand, 4 Polluted Delta. My fetchables, 2 Watery Grave, a Godless Shrine, 2 Hallowfountain, and a Rafine's Tower. Godless Shrine should probably be 2nd Rafine's Tower. They just didn't have it on the Card Kingdom, the one that I wanted. They had the second version, not the decent looking alternate one, but the shitty one. And this is my favorite version of it, so they only had the one. 5 basics, 3 island, 1 swamp, 1 plains. Innistrad basics fits Esper really well. And then our utility lands, not really utility, but our buddy lands. 2 Drown Catacomb, 2 Glacial Fortress, 1 Hall of Storm Giants, and 1 Celestial Colonnade. So 2 man lands, normal split. Yeah, it just works. It's fine. I don't like Castle Vantress. I've never really liked Castle Vantress. I think it's mostly shit. So I don't care that I don't include it here. I literally put it in blue-white because it's basically a free inclusion. Unfortunately, I could not realistically fit Esper Charm into the deck unless I want to run 62 cards or 63 cards, which I could do, but I don't really want to. However, sideboard. I did stick it in the sideboard because I seen Wafo Tapa do it, and he had decent reasoning for it. It's like against Tron and stuff, and against control decks, you just have something to bring in for grindier matchups. And I actually think that was a decent idea. So, 2 copies of Esper Charm in the sideboard. I love Esper Charm, but it's just not good enough main deck, I don't think. You'll also notice that Kaya's Guile is not present, and that's because it's not that good anymore. Kaya's Guile, really not that good. It's in the sideboard as a 2 of, just in case. I'll get to that. 4 Dovin's Veto, because I don't have Flusterstorms, unfortunately. So 4 Vetoes works well enough. So this is a sideboard where it's 6 cards. 2 Esper Charm, 4 Dovin's Vetoes. 2 Sanctifier and Vec. I know it exiles my cards, but in the matchups you're bringing it in, that's mostly fine. I should have Rest in Peace in the sideboard. I just don't. 2 Blossoming Calm. I'm going to cut that probably for Rest in Peace. Burn is not very common. 2 Kaya's Guile. You can bring it against Burn. You could bring it in against Jund-esque decks as well, if you need to take out a Kroxa or shut off a Renin 6. I do not like Static Hate against them, Graveyard Hate against those decks, but it's there just in case you need it. It's a decent utility card, but I think it is now a sideboard card. Very much so. 1 Supreme Verdict. I like Damn, but Supreme Verdict is better. I just like the split in the main deck because I can pretty easily do it. And 2 Aether Gust because why not? It's a good card in the right matchup. I like Aether Gust. So sideboard needs some Flusterstorms and probably some Rest in Peace. And that's all I would really change about the sideboard. In fact, I would probably cut Kaya's Guile, honestly, for Rest in Peace. And then maybe cut Aether Gust for Flusterstorm. I like the idea of 4 vetoes. But yeah, that is the main deck. Esper control. No Chalice of the Voids, no Little Teferis. None of that bullshit. Just a pile of instant speed interaction and card draw. It's my thing. And Teferi, hero of Dominaria. Badass. Is it that good? Probably fucking not. In all honesty, it's probably not good. Can it win? Sure. I think it can win. I fully believe